So today we're diving into a worldview that's a little different. It's one where the future isn't something you predict, but a resonance you can actually learn to feel. And our story, it starts on a very, very quiet night.
Okay, so picture this. There's this strange, silent landscape, and a man named Arreqqana is out walking. And then he sees something that just stops him cold. There, right near the edge of a cliff, he sees a small, pale girl with this long white hair. And his first thought isn't, suspicion or fear. It's this quiet, immediate sense of concern. So he approaches her really gently, his voice is soft, he's trying not to startle her. She doesn't say a word, just kind of watches him with these unreadable gray eyes. He asks if she's alone, and she just nods. And without a moment's hesitation, he takes off his own blazer and wraps it around her shoulders. Just a simple act of compassion for a total stranger.
And in response, she gives him this soft, grateful smile. And right then, as he feels that connection, this really strange thought pops into his head. In finding her, he somehow lost his own way. Now, what on earth does that mean?
And that question, right there, is the key to everything. His reaction isn't just a personality quirk. It's the result of a really profound philosophy. To get why he did what he did, we have to understand the world he comes from. You see, Arreqqana's actions are completely rooted in the Arreqqana spiritual system, and it's a practice that's way less about seeing the future and much more about hearing the present. In Arreqqana, they call this Kielegia no Karavingin, which translates to the sacred reading of the threads. And that is the huge difference. This isn't fortune-telling. It's about tuning into the invisible alignments that are shaping your path in this exact moment. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we have to kind of rethink two of our most basic ideas, time and the self. Because the Arreqqana people see them in a way that's, well, probably very different from how you and I do. Most of us, right, we think of time as a straight line, like a movie that's already been filmed, and fate is just the ending we can't change. But the Arreqqana view is so much more alive. For them, time isn't a line at all. It's a braid, where the past, present, and future are all overlapping. And that means you aren't just a character reading a script. You are a living, breathing tapestry, woven from 1,000 different threads and choices. And when you think about it, these beliefs create this really beautiful logic. Since time is braided, a reading can show you strands from any moment. And because you are a woven being, you're this incredible mix of will, spirit, love, and intention. So divination isn't a life sentence. It just shines a light on the patterns you're currently aligned with. And your choices? Well, they can always weave something brand new. What's so cool is how this philosophy of listening shows up in so many different ways. It's not one strict system. It can be something as ancient as the core thread reading, or as elemental as flame casting, literally reading emotion in smoke. It can even be as modern as spirit tech, using sacred AI. See, the tool itself isn't the most important part. The intention is to listen to the patterns of the universe. Okay. So with all of that in mind, let's go back to that quiet cliffside under the east moon. Let's look at what Arreqqana did again, but this time not as just a simple act of kindness, but as an act of divination. That offer he made was so much more than just words. In the Arreqqan worldview, that was his response to a reading. He wasn't just seeing a girl, he was sensing a vibration, a need that was just humming in the silent air around them. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of it all. Threaded resonance. It's this belief that what is ready to reveal itself will vibrate louder when you listen. The girl's loneliness, her need for safety and warmth, that was the thread vibrating loudly in that moment. Arreqqana was simply listening. So now, that final thought he had, it wasn't about confusion or regret. It was a statement of profound acceptance. Let's just break it down. 1, he reads the thread of her need. Simple. 2, his action, offering her warmth, aligns him with the path that this reading just lit up for him. 3, by doing that, he actively weaves her story, her thread, into his own. Their tapestries are now interconnected. And finally, 4, being lost is just his beautiful way of saying he has surrendered to this new, interwoven path, even though he has absolutely no idea where it's going. He's not on his old path anymore. He's on a new one, with her. So what's the whole point of this practice? What's the end game? Well, it's not about knowing all the answers. It's about finding a state of alignment where the right path forward simply feels clear.
The seers and mystics of this world, they have a saying that just captures this entire philosophy perfectly. It goes like this.
Through soul, through thread, through reading, clarity will hum. See, understanding isn't some loud declaration from the heavens. It's a quiet hum. It's that feeling of resonance you get when your actions perfectly align with the needs of the moment. And that is the true art of Arreqqana divination.
And that kind of brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. What if we tried to shift our own perspective a bit? What if, instead of always trying to force the future to tell us its secrets, we just learned to listen a little more closely to the threads that are vibrating in our own lives, right here, right now? You have to wonder, what paths might open up for us if we did?